this whole show is dedicated to the behind the scenes of LowRange. All year, people have been asking us questions like, what's it like to stay away from home so long? How did you manage to get that outrageous shot? You know, who are the people who are making this? And it's no secret in the industry that the people behind the scenes on LowRange, I stole the best people in the industry, let's face it, and I'm proud of it too. But at the end of the day, all year long, these questions, so we figured, hey, let's do something and show you what it's like behind the scenes of LowRange. Good on you guys. How are we doing? Good, just about done?
Yep.
I'm just on my way to the Sydney four-wheel drive show here, and I'm in a rental car because Milo's at home in the shed, and this is really weird. As much as anything, it's a weird car to drive. It's electric. It's so quiet. It stops when you stop. I mean, Milo does that if I don't get the idle right, but this is crazy. I always get a bit nervous. I mean, I've been doing this forever, but shows are a responsibility for someone like me because, you know, people see you having all these adventures all over the place, and it's really not fair if you can't share it with them personally. And they've all got questions, you know, and some really good questions too. And that one-on-one thing, and even the stage shows, that's when I get to be sort of, I don't know, I get in tune with our viewers, and they get in tune with me, and it's all good. And I keep saying it's all good, and I've got nothing but butterflies going around in this stomach. It's as soon as I get hold of the microphone and get up there, open my big fat gob, I'm away. It's not an issue.
Being a part of the LowRange crew it's almost like my second family.
I'm rolling.
Shush. Why not set, Mel?
Okay, and we're rolling.
Here comes the LowRange team.
You have your life at home and you do what you do at home, but when you go away, you've got this life that no one else will understand apart from those people in that tight-knit group, because the things you have to go through and the situations you deal with day to day, and a lot of those situations most of the time are pretty tough. If it's the weather, if it's, you know, a situation where you're bogged and everyone has to come together and help each other out.
What happened, Ed?
I said, Josh, go that way. He goes, no, I'm not going that way. I want to drive through the water. I want to learn how to get unstuck. It's because I'm a teenager.
Those people are the only ones that understand. So it's like another family that you have so much fun with, and you've almost got a second life.
Go the Melanator. She drives like a boss.
What are you celebrating about? That was Mel that got you out. Yeah, well done, Mel.
That was good.
This is really kind of strange, you know, like parking the hire car off-road. Milo would eat this. Yep. And that's why I'm blacklisted by 9 out of 10 hire companies. Morning.
How are you today?
How are you, mate?
Nice to see you.
Doing all right, Nick? Hey, Dan, what are you doing here?
Hey, Nico, what's happening?
Oh, good on you, mate. This is Dan Everett.
Hey, guys.
You probably know him anyway. He's our EMAG editor.
Thank you very much.
Good on you, mate.
Thank you very
Have
much.
a good
I
day,
love
eh?
that. Thank you.
Hey?
He's going to be Daddy's little winch runner.
Daddy's little winch runner. Is this your missus?
Yep.
You're batting above your average.
The old
there, mate.
handbrakes, mate.
What's going on, eh?
I know it is. Love your
What's
work, mate.
Thanks.
Geez, we met some people along the way.
Wow, some characters.
Some characters in some remote places, and I wonder, you know, when you get the story out of why they're actually there and how they become to be there.
Yeah, Australia's full of interesting people. I was almost going to say weirdos, but that's not quite right, is it? Because we're all weird.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, I'm a weirdo. We met some weirdos, some funny places.
I think one of my favourite people that I met on the trip was Trevor from William Creek. He was the pilot that actually took us up over the flight of Lake Eyre that next morning that we're there.
Definitely Dave from Restoration Island, Restoration Island.
I forgot about him.
The pirate. He was He was one of a kind, I think.
Pirate.
Yeah, his hat, remember his hat?
Oh, yeah.
That he got blown up on the beach or washed up on the beach. And
Now, a lot of the people that we meet along the way it's quite inspirational, a lot of the stories too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like that old mate walking from the tip of Australia all the way down to Tassie and...
Totally inspirational. I've met up with people from the past, which has been interesting.
One season they decided to come through and sitting in the creek, and I was looking and thinking, what was this animal? And what was this thing that's sitting up on this animal? First time my people ever seen a horse.
Yeah.
First time my people ever seen the colour of white man. So this is the actual place where my people and white men first met.
Do you remember that guy we met on the beach who had that terrible accident?
Oh, yeah.
How'd you do that, mate?
Simple, fell through a fish tank. I was sitting at my desk, got up, the front chair, the legs snapped as I got up, overcorrected myself, arms went flying, straight through a fish tank, and 45 minutes headline, bleeding, not knowing, looking over myself saying, this is it, goodbye to everybody. Well, I was in hospital for a while lying there going, what am I going to do with myself? And had to go and buy another four-wheel drive again so I can start enjoying myself.
You'd really just want to make the most of every day after something like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, every day I try so hard, and things are hard every day, but I can't give up, like saying, just trying to fish, like trying to do knots, I use my teeth, my elbows, I use every little part of it now, I use this to open bottles and, things you got to learn,
typical day on a low-range trip is generally an early start, and everyone knows I like to get out a bit early.
Time to hop up, wakey. Kenno, try to get up! Get up, Kenno!
And then it's brekkie. Sometimes that gets filmed, other times it doesn't. Sometimes it gets missed altogether. Then it's driving all day.
Yep.
A lot of stop-start. I like to call it hurry up and wait. And then it's lunch, which could either be filmed or not. It's usually a quick thing and we're back into it driving. And then it's late getting into camp after probably a couple of recoveries where you've run around in sand that's about 4 million degrees. And then it's set up camp before the sun sets. And then we got to stand around and look at the sunset. And then it's probably into a cooking segment, which generally takes a long time. So we eat about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. By then, we're tired, we go to bed. And the next day, you just hit repeat.
Bored because we've been driving for a long time.
How long?
7:30.
For 4 days.
Yeah, 4 days.
You got mad yet?
Not yet. It's getting very close.
I love the road trips. For me, that's one of the highlights of the job. So, yeah, it's easier for us because we get to share the driving.
Hey, how you doing? That's good. Yeah, we're just passing through. Yeah. Cool, see yous.
Take care. Catch you next time.
Nice bunch of cows.
For me, I just don't get sick of it. I love seeing all the little towns, even if we've been through them so many times before. And when it's been a while between road trips, I just really miss it.
If I went on a DVD, I would probably help Roothy cook dinner for everyone. So, yeah, and I'll get the things that he needs and I'll just stay there saying, Roothy, what do we have to do now? And that's what I would say.
Well, it's got Guinness, it's got red wine,
Look at it, like bubbling and talking to us.
Yeah, we need to...
Hello! Kenno's right, we need to speed up the red wine out of it.
It's really chilly around.
Oh.
Oh, chili pie.
Flakes or something.
Because I do all the shopping for LowRange as well, I did forget a few things because I was in a bit of a rush when we stopped in at Cairns and I didn't hear the end of that one.
I got chili flakes.
I got some.
Yeah?
Have you?
That's one thing you did buy.
He did buy something.
Joshy, you got something right.
Holy crap, Joshy. We didn't even ask for that.
How was it on
That's
the
the
list?
trip. Don't put anything on the list. Whatever you want, don't put it on the list.
We had no knives, forks and plates at the Cape. It was all the wrong food or not enough food in the Gulf.
It's concrete.
It is. It's going hard on top.
This is the one you cook and then you throw the camp oven away.
I've seen the corruption in what you eat over the years anyway. Like gone are the days where, you know, you'd throw birdseed on the ground in front of you and you'd eat it.
I'll still have a go if it's there, but if there's Tim Tams, they're being thrown around,
there's too much
and I'm in the middle
temptation.
of the desert.
I just want to give it one last big boot and then we'll switch it off.
Just so we make sure we kill all of it. Who gets that lucky bit?
That's an interesting looking piece
That looks
of
tasty.
pie. Oh, well, I'll leave it in there.
Yeah.
Someone could get really lucky.
Yeah, that's the healthy part of it.
Who do you reckon has the worst diet on the trips?
Oh, well, no, Kenno. I think Kenno, because he's literally living off beer sticks and beer.
And shapes.
And shapes. I mean, I'm not a nutritionist, but that sounds really crap.
But I think all of our diets deteriorate. Like, we all start off like, yeah, we're going to be healthy. And then it's just, then we start like missing home or whatever, or, you know, we're stuck out on a track winching. We don't know when we're ever going to get back to camp.
Yeah.
So then we start digging into the chocolate and we like comfort
It's like
eat.
a comfort food. Lisa, I'd like some more. Yeah, but
You'd like some more?
do you think people would do that with this?
Could be more like, please, sir, could I have a cup of noodles?
Yeah. Please, sir, can I have something else?
Usually the outtakes are my favourite part of the DVDs because we sort of get to see the funny side.
I'm melting. So on the trip, I use a camera called the Sony F55. It's a 4K digital cinematography camera. It's capable of high resolutions, high frame rates for your slow motion.
And you look really professional.
Yeah, and the main thing is it makes me look cool when I carry it around. I don't actually know how to use it. There's so many buttons on it. But doesn't it?
He uses that little handy cam.
Yeah, that's right. But don't I look cool carrying it around on my shoulder?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I run a Canon 30 to 105 zoom lens on the camera. That's my main lens that I'll use for most of the shooting on low range. Every now and then I'll use a Zeiss CP2 15mm wide angle lens for those other shots where I need wide angle. Yeah, we used a lot of GoPros on low range. Even on the drone, we've got a DJI Phantom 2 quadcopter, and that gets some really, really nice aerials, so very happy with that. We've got a slider, so I usually put the 55 on top of that, and just makes the camera go from here to here. You can slide.
That's why they call it
That's why they call it the slider.
On the low range trips, I use Nikon gear. It's basically Toyota, Nissan with Canon and Nikon.
All Nikon users say that.
Yeah, it's way better than Canon. Way better. I've got a D4S and a D810. They're the camera bodies and lenses. I also use Sigma lenses. I've got a 35mm 1.4, 50mm 1.4, and 120 to 300 2.8. And the Nikon lenses are 17 to 35 is my wide angle for all my landscape stuff, and 70 to 200 for a lot of the driving shots, which is nice and compact. Sometimes I walk around with these two cameras all day long and I'm a little bit sore in the neck, and I see Gav, like a mountain goat, with his 10-kilo massive block on his shoulder and tripods, and just think, geez, I'm glad that's not me. I couldn't do that.
Yes, I'll tell you about the Wenlock. So I'd been over the other side of the Wenlock filming, and we had to get the blue 80 across to the other side. And Gav was like, oh, are you gonna get Josh to drive the 80 across? And I was like, no, like, I'm gonna drive it.
Okay, now go for it. Okay, now start to swing right, don't back off. Don't back off. Now come up here. You've done it, well.
Because I'd watched everyone else go through, and that's the benefit. Like, often the camera car goes first, but sometimes when it doesn't, you have that benefit. And I would not have wanted to be the first person to cross that Wenlock.
Just for old time's sake, do you remember what you said about and to and everything, Joshy, coming across the Wenlock?
Oh, be careful, Josh, I think. Too far down, mate. Where the are you going? Oh, you That, Josh. Stop there, mate.
Oh, you really stuffed that one up, I think, old chap.
I think you've made an error of judgment, young Josh.
As the car started filling up, I started thinking, oh no, this isn't my car, it's a company car, and I'm going to cop it about this one.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad.
What about the recovery, Joshy?
Well, I didn't have to do any because I was in the car, so that was a bonus.
You know, so he would have learnt, but we've all stuffed up, especially you.
What were you thinking?
The hardest thing about spending long periods away from home would be... Is my wife listening? She's asleep. I don't get to surf for 2 weeks. No, just kidding. No, but that's one of them. But I should put my wife as a priority first.
Absolutely.
Being away from family, I guess, is probably the hardest thing, especially now that I've got the little fella. I haven't been on a trip yet, but I'm sure that's going to be pretty tough to leave.
Missing your family, I think, and living out of a vehicle.
Yeah.
Or a camper trailer. If you've forgotten something, that's it, especially the places we go.
I did miss my sister having a second child this season, so that was a bit disappointing, but like, you know, I was able, they called me and let me know and all that kind of stuff, so.
I don't think we heard that much about that, did we, Gavin?
No, there wasn't a lot that was mentioned at all.
I miss the family heaps. But we stay in communication, have a satellite phone. I'm always sending text messages back to them. And when I do have phone reception, I take short videos. I'll sing songs. Do the beatbox thing.
Hello, mate, how are you?
I say bark and I look up, the first bloke I see is Roothy.
Yeah, the old dog.
Roothy, the old dog. Yeah. How are you, mate?
Oh, really good, Ernie. I knew you were here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How come? You saw it again?
I saw the Ferrari out the front with the wires hanging out of the dash.
Tell
That's
everybody
yours,
to
isn't
drive
it?
a bloody Ferrari.
Yeah, he's got to drive something quicker than the cars with the
Yeah.
flashing lights on.
Is there any one place that really sticks in your mind about the whole season?
I guess one of the strangest ones, one of the ones that sticks in my mind really didn't even make it into the DVD. And it was that time we were cutting across to Cameron's Corner. Remember, we thought we were trying to go to Cameron's Corner and we'd gone off the Strzelecki and sort of turned down this track that should have been there, and off we go. And eventually it petered down to a farm track that hadn't been travelled on for ages. And we wound up at this beautiful old sandstone homestead.
What ruins are these, John?
Well, this is the old Mount Filton station. Gee, someone put a lot of work into this, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful concrete lintels and chipped block. It was beautiful, the work that had gone into that house and trying to put that picture together of what it would have been like to live in such an isolated place and why it all went wrong. Wow, guys, it's a piano.
Sing me a song, you're the piano man. Does that sound good?
That's pretty good, Glenn. Obviously, they picked that bit of ground as good sheep country with some decent water, and then all the good sheep and the decent water went away. Something went badly wrong. A lot of that happened in the Northern Flinders Ranges. Whoever built it to last a long time. Oh, look, it's got an old laundry out the back too. I mean, we saw so much that got dropped, didn't we? Yeah. So much that never made it into the final cuts because we didn't really want to tell just 2 seconds worth of the story. If we were going to go somewhere, we wanted to tell the story, and there just wasn't enough time.
So that's one of the ones?
That's one of the ones for me. What about you?
I can't remember the name of it, but it's after we left Mount Dare and we headed down and we camped along the side of that.
Oh, that billabong.
It just felt like you're in the middle of the, well, we were in the middle of the desert, we're in the middle of nowhere, and here's this billabong, and it was like massive, and it was deep, and we went for a swim. It was stinking hot. We camped there the night, and I remember waking up in the morning and I was counting like 10 different species of birds.
Yeah, it was just going
This place was alive, and these big gum trees lining the billabong.
That was the lesson. This is what the Outback can be like if you bring some water in.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
My favourite trip of Low Range Series 1, that's a hard question. There's so many different trips for different reasons. I love the Flinders Ranges. Definitely is up there. Photogenic. The weather was perfect. The landscape's like nothing you've seen.
It's just like a canvas.
It is, it's just so perfect.
there.
There's every angle, 360 degrees is just picture postcard.
It was
perfect.
amazing. When that sun was setting, yeah, the Flinders is just one of the most amazing spots I've seen for sunsets and sunrises.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, out of this world. Like, yeah, when we were in that plane.
Best thing I've ever
Oh
done.
my God, that was amazing. Never seen anything like that. It was just, look, it was a mirror.
It could not be any more perfect.
It was disorientating sometimes looking through the lens, and it's almost like your world's been flipped upside down, and you see the reflection of the plane, and
Yeah,
you know?
that was amazing.
Yeah. To think that we nearly actually missed that scene because by the time we spent ages setting up like the GoPros inside and outside the plane.
Having
and
a ham and cheese croissant.
Well, the coffee took ages to arrive at the airport.
Yeah.
But when it did,
it was great coffee.
Oh, great coffee. And then eventually we got to take off, and you know, we only made that by a couple of minutes, really. If it were a couple of minutes later, we wouldn't have got that scene.
And you've literally got those 5 perfect minutes to shoot.
Yeah.
And then once that sun's past a certain point, it's game over and that's gone forever. That day's gone forever.
That's it.
I feel like with Low Range, we've had that opportunity to kind of go outside of the places that we've been before, and that whole touring, not trashing theme has just really opened up the possibilities for things. So for me, my favourite location from this season, I really did love the centre trip. Like, I loved, you know, that it took us 4 days to drive from Brisbane to the centre and just seeing all that country, and I really felt that it was special to be seeing, you know, water in the Finke River, and yeah, just that whole country through there was amazing. It was the first time that I'd seen it, and it blew me away. And even though the experience with those flies and all the crickets, like that was hard to deal with. That was quite difficult.
I'm going to retreat to the car.
Well, it's not the easiest to negotiate getting it in my mouth, keeping my neck clean, but it is working.
Pies hate pickles. Actually, I don't know about that one.
Oh! No, he's here.
But at the same time, it was just made it part of the adventure.
I will say Kinkuna campground was not my favourite because I had to go to the Bundaberg Emergency Department with a cactus in my toe. Mel told us to keep our shoes on, which I'm on the beach, I'm not going to keep my shoes on. Like, who wears shoes on the beach?
Who does that?
Geez, OH&S what? And jumped on a cactus, and so that stands out for all the wrong reasons.
You're quite good at that, Mel. You should do that for a living.
Good on you guys. Come on! Hello, how are you? You were waiting for me.
I saw Milo.
You saw Milo where? Oh, up there. Oh, righto.
Oh, good luck with it all anyway. I hope everything goes well for you. There you go, mate.
We're having a lot of fun, if nothing else.
How about that lady that we saw at Arch River?
Oh, Shayla.
Shayla, that's her.
Yeah, I was talking to her, yeah. Shayla.
Yes, Roothy.
It's a lovely morning, isn't it?
It's beautiful today.
What's the go? I heard you're ticking something off your bucket list.
Yeah, always wanted to go up to the tip. That was a dream of ours to do. Even was planning possibly doing it for our honeymoon.
Oh, OK. Where are you from?
Townsville.
Townsville,
Yep.
yeah? And so the Cape is just there and...
Yep. And we've always wanted to do it, so there's no better time than now.
Why's that, mate?
A couple of weeks ago, I was diagnosed with motor neuron disease.
How amazing. She'd only just found out she had this disease and she wasn't going to live forever.
It's a disease that ultimately will put me in a wheelchair with little use of my body. On average, life expectancy is 2 to 5 years.
And it was right on the top of a bucket list.
That's right.
The trip to the tip of Australia.
A friend of mine, actually, she was on the ball straight away. She started a funding page for us, which has really helped us get there sooner and on the road. So
I don't suppose you want to be wasting time, do
no,
you?
that's it. So, you know, without Geraldine Walker's help, she's been amazing, as well as family and friends.
So you get diagnosed and your friends all get together.
Yeah, they've
and
been
in
amazing.
3 weeks, here you are halfway up the Cape.
Yep, that's it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been overwhelming, the support we've been getting. I'm lucky in a way that I know that I've got to go do these things. I mean, I could have been going to work and got hit by a bus or truck. You know, at least I know, go do it now.
You're an amazing lady with an amazing attitude,
Oh, thanks.
Shayla. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
sharing this with us.
One of the things that I'm really proud about with LowRange is the quality that we've sort of been able to maintain throughout the season. In initial talks with the guys about starting off this season, they were really excited about stepping up the quality, which is really cool. So we were able to use some really cool new equipment, emerging technologies like 4K shooting, and put it through all different types of post-production workflows that sort of hadn't really been done in the four-wheel drive video type of industry before. I think people have responded really well to the fact that we've gone to Blu-ray as well. That's opened up a different type of view of Australia for a lot of people. It just looks so much better in HD on Blu-ray as opposed to DVD.
If you're watching this on a DVD, you're missing out.
Well, when we get back to the office, we've got terabytes of video from a low-range trip. That's when you'd almost call it the real filmmaking begins, is turning everything that you just captured on all these cameras, all these travels into a story. That process takes a long time.
Many, many hours, and then reviewing, and then we'll argue about what we think is the right way to go about it.
Emphasis on argue.
I'll want to put something into the into the edit, and Gavin will say, no, we can't put that in. It's going to be stupid, or whatever. Or I'll hate a music track that he chooses, which is normally what happens. And then John will watch it and go, oh, I love that music track. And I'm like, friggin' hell.
Right. But that's not the end of it there. We go on to colour correction and grading process after that, and then it gets sent off for another couple of days of sound mixing, where it gets a surround sound mix. And then it comes back and we author it onto DVDs and Blu-rays. And then
digital
downloads and post it off. And that's, by that time, then we're usually straight off onto another trip.
This is the bit where we have to compulsory say nice things or it'll get cut. What's the nicest thing you can say about Melanie, our producer, Glenn?
Working with Gav was good, except for carrying all his camera gear all the time because he didn't want to carry his, what was it, 70-kilo camera?
Nah, it would be that heavy.
You never carried it.
That's right, I would know.
Well, yeah, it was good, but there was a lot of hard work because of him. So, plus setting up his rooftop tent, and I think sometimes I had to clip his toenails, so, yeah.
He's got nice hair. No, hang on, that'd be sexist. You're not allowed to say stuff like that. I'm only jealous because I haven't got any.
Yeah, when the cameras are off, the group still gets along really, really well. Everyone gels.
Hey, Gleno.
Hey, yeah?
You know you come along on these trips to do the dishes as well?
I thought that was the only reason I came along. Is there anything else? Please make me feel loved.
You do carry a lot of long life milk. What are we doing here, Mel?
Trying to get a splinter out. without much luck.
How are you feeling, John?
Oh, really good. This is actually the high point of my day, Gav.
John just keeps bleeding and making my job harder.
Geez, I would have hated to have grown up with Melanie as my brother or sister.
Oh, can you imagine
As
it?
my brother or sister. She'd only be my sister, can't she? What am I actually trying to
I'm
say?
not sure what you're trying to say here, Glenn, but I'm quite sure that if she wanted to dress you in a penny, mate, and give you some little dolls to play with, you would have done it.
I would have done it. Well, she did make me dress up.
Well, she did.
Ruthie! Ruthie!
Hey, Glenno.
Sometimes Melanie could be a bit of a ball breaker. Like if we stopped in at the pub for dinner and I didn't want veggies, she would order them anyway. Other than that, sometimes she sent me to bed early because I had a big day at work the next day. So, but yeah, it's definitely like having a mum on the trip.
Kenno's got an annoying habit of never catching a fish.
It's just sheer beauty in a fishing rod. Little flappy one. Hey. Hey. Hey.
He knows how to catch fish. He's an expert, you can tell.
Ah. Caught a stick.
Most people have to try to make this happen. So.
Now I've got a tangle.
You can't catch fish.
Yeah, I can.
I do.
When? Where is it?
Okay, we'll go get one.
Go on then.
I thought fishermen had to get up really early in the morning to get that sunlight sort of hitting the water where all the bait fish or something or the feed comes off the bottom and...
Looks like all the fish are dying to meet you, Kenno.
I think there are a couple of people that snore like wild boars. I think I went through a couple of pairs of earplugs, and this is, my swag's about 20 metres away from everybody else's. You learn pretty quickly where to place your swag, not next to Glenno's truck.
If I'm on a trip with Dad, I'm just gonna be sleeping in rooftop tent with my dad, fluffing all the time. It's true. It's true.
Just don't add that bit.
It's true. And it stinks.
That is personal business.
Lots of things can go wrong on a low-range shoot. It could be something mechanical. It could be something natural, like a stump that you may not see. Might be about this high and sort of the car might wedge itself onto it. You might hit a slippery section that's very icy and you just lose complete control of the vehicle. That's happened too. Lots of things can get thrown at you.
Right hand down.
We are filling up.
Oh, I've busted something, guys. I've got no rear drive.
Where are my wheels? My front wheels pointing the right way?
Right hand down.
Mate, we haven't got a lot of time. This water's flying in here.
One of the things I love most about working in the Aussie Outback is actually getting out and seeing how big our country really is and seeing things that I've never seen before. And our country's beautiful and it's big. I think I've still got a lot more of it to see.
So before I started working at LowRange, I hadn't even been on a plane before, so it was quite interesting to do 10 trips all around the country in 1 year. It was definitely a memorable thing that I'll never forget, and they were amazing places.
You've been to jail a few times, though.
Yeah, but I didn't have to go on a plane to get there.
Well, we recently went to Europe for a month for a holiday. It was amazing. You see some cool things over there, but I really just missed Australia, and it was, being in that plane and crossing back over that WA border into Australia. I was clapping in the plane. I was just so excited, because I think over the years I've really developed a love for the Australian bush and the outback. It's a real love. I really do. I feel so passionate about it. So to be able to call that your office space, so to speak, it's pretty special.
Okay, heads up. You come out this side? That was heavy.
Yeah. Oh, my foot.
Oh, sorry.
Clayman heavy camera.
Oh, you've got to dry my undies too. That's not even from water in here.
When you get back with that LowRange crew, it's like, it doesn't matter if it's been 2 weeks or 6 months, it's just like...
It just picks up where I left off on.
Best buddies again, and you're in
yeah.
stitches within 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
crow's feet are getting bigger and bigger each day because you're just laughing too hard at this fella.
You know what? I was really proud of the history component, I guess, of LowRange. The influence it's had on so many kids. I mean, I love my history anyways. You know, I'm always boring you silly with it. It's just fantastic to know that LowRange kind of helped bring Australians and their history together, just that little bit. And I think the other thing that I'm really proud of is the comments from overseas people. They go, oh, wow, we didn't know that about Australia. Oh, wow, you've really showcased Australia in a different way, you know, like it.
People out there are packing up their families and they're hitting the road.
Yeah.
Because we've
Yes,
given them a
that's
pathway
a constant theme.
to show them that
you can go do it. You
it's
can do
remote,
it
but it's not remote.
Yeah, you can do it in a $500 truck. That idiot does. Righto, this is
the best.
It is. It's the best. Let's cut right to the quick. We've spent the whole season talking about roasts and what's the best roast, and well, this is it basically. This is rib on the bone, eh, Gleno? Doesn't come any better.
Does not get any better.
Yep. You can have the best steak on earth cut right off this bone, but then you miss the flavour that's on the bone itself. Yep. So there's 3 kilos here, which is roughly, if I keep myself down to half a kilo, almost enough for Gleno. All right. Now, because it won't fit in the pot, I'm going to chop it in half, which I hope won't be that difficult. Okay, just hang on to him. Beautiful. Thanks, mate. Oh, I've run out of hands. There we go. Don't worry about that sound. That's the noise of my beer pouring itself off the table.
That, eh?
Yeah, you don't care about anything now, does he? Look at that, eh? Wow.
So tell me how you're going to cook them, John.
Okay, well, because it is such a good piece of meat, I'm going to make it really easy on it. I'm not going to go to town. My idea here is just to use oyster sauce. We're just going to coat it in oyster sauce and honey and then bacon. So we've got sugar content, a sweet content, and we've got the bacon just to add that little bit at the end. And of course, being a roast, it's going to go in for an hour or so. Well, 3 kilos is about 2.5 slow roast, 2.5 to 3 hours to get it to medium rare. You'll never last that long, mate, will you?
No, I can wait for this.
Right, well, see what happens when you put on a good roast? All of a sudden, you've got people visiting. We've got Vlad from head office of LowRange. He's the guy that does all the thinking. You might have noticed we don't do much. And then we've got Wayne on the other side, who's the workshop manager down at Roo. Wayne manages to keep all our vehicles going. And of course, look who's here. Finance Feral Dave. Can we have a laugh, please, Dave? Hello, mate. Just so we know he's here. Just so we know he's here. Looks like Kenno hasn't showed up yet. The fish mustn't be biting. What a surprise. Okay, so we've got some veggies here that I prepared earlier. It wasn't very hard. I had an hour and a half to fill. And we've just got some spuds, some onions cut into halves. These are sweet potatoes, a rather unusual type of sweet potato. And down the bottom, some carrots. And I'm just going to splash in some oil, a little bit of oil. It's not even my usual oil. I don't know where that came from. Doesn't matter. It helps if you've done a little bit of sieving for gold. Get this action just right. Otherwise you'll get things bouncing out. And then, the Victorian favourite, Vegetar. Now Vegetar is actually a stock seasoning, which means you're supposed to mix it up with water and make stock out of it. Guess what? Best thing on earth for stuff like this. You're getting hungry there, old mate.
You should see that.
Oh, Gleno, look at that.
Look at.
Wow.
Look at that. Juices coming out of that.
Mate, that is just magnificent, isn't it?
Have you boys bought McDonald's or something for yourselves?
Whoa! I'll get these out, start slicing them.
Yep.
Do you want to pull the veggies out from this side?
Mate.
I've just got to get you away from the meat because I know what happens.
Oh, look at that.
There you go, guys. Get a load of this.
Yep.
Absolutely scrumptious. Farrell!
Hello.
Where'd you come from?
Line.
Over there. Have you got any bread, Gleno?
Yep.
I want that pot. I'm going to mop that out.
How's that personal trainer going, Dave?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Going into a tunnel.
That is seriously the best roast beef in the world.
Well, I'd like to say that thanks to you on the coals, mate, you like it done a lot more slower than I do. So that's really good.
It's only 3 in the morning, we're right.
When Josh is talking, just don't look like bored or anything like. Make sure you.
So which camera are we looking at?
Okay, lettuce and carrot or kale and cabbage?
Give me the fat one.
Working?
No, I don't think so, not very well.
And I love it when you get in trouble because you want mayonnaise in the morning for brekkie. Bella,
This is called.
it's
coleslaw, not mayonnaise. There's a difference.
You don't need to correct me. I could have corrected myself, mister.
On the trips, I use a iPhone 4 to film. Yeah, I'm really excited because the iPhone 6 has just come out and it's got better videos.
Totally, I lie, probably.
Bella, don't be silly.
Show me.
Oh,
You gotta like look at me.
oh, Gavin.
Leave Mel's there, please.
Don't touch me.
Shouldn't have had a gyros for breakfast. Now I'm going to be burping garlic on everyone all day.
What's it like?
We must be.
The most awesome producer.
We're talking about Melanie
We're talking about Melanie now, aren't we?
Are you even recording? Did you hit the record button?
Hey, which one's that?
Never mind.
Big man coming in.
Okay, come on.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, how can she be bossy when it's her turn to be interviewed?
I didn't know she
Hey,
could
Get
count.
this over with.
You'll sit down, shut up, and do as you're told. The other week, I was heading to gym and I couldn't find my water bottle. Just sitting out there near my car. So I picked up, threw it in the car, went to gym. Anyway, took a swig and it was pool water.
You know what's amazing about that though? You went to the gym.
You were saying I went to.
Yeah. Are you doing something weird?
No, I would never do anything weird.
Didn't think so.
Working with Gavin's good. That's all I got to say.
I can't stand burping. Like burping just makes me sick. And you guys, it's so gross.